Covering news where you live, this is 5 News.
Well, the U of A officially confirming Bobby Petrino will return to Arkansas as the offensive coordinator. Petrino's contract is 2.5 years, beginning this Sunday and running through February of 2026. He will earn $350,000 from Sunday until February of 2024. Now, after that, he'll earn $1.5 million for the 2024 football season and $1.6 million for the 2025 football season. He is eligible for bonuses if the Hogs perform well. Caleb Morris says he's been a Razorback fan since the Petrino era and says he's hopeful.
After the disappointment of this year, we need something to at least generate some buzz, some energy. Hopefully we'll see what happens in the transfer portal, but at this point it can't get much worse, can it? Growing up in Central Arkansas, I always went to the War Memorial games, really started to become a fan during the Petrino era, so it's good. Hopefully we can get back to the winning we had during the Petrino era.
Now, head hog Sam Pittman will join Petrino today to talk about this new position in a press conference that they will hold at 3 o'clock. You can find a live stream of it on our website, 5newsonline.com, and on our free 5+ streaming app. Before we get to more of today's top stories, let's go ahead and get a check of today's weather with Bella Grace. Bella, a bit of rain out there today.
Yeah, and it's going to stay rainy for the next couple of hours if you're headed out to the bus stop or your kiddos at school already. It's going to be about the 50s today with some scattered showers and rain throughout the day, just sticking around. We can take a closer look at those temperatures staying cool in the 50s, those lower 50s for most of us, 52 in Fort Smith and 53 in Fayetteville. The rain is just picking up and moving throughout the day, especially in the River Valley. We can see that building in intensity throughout the day as well. The later evening hours is when we're going to see the strongest of these showers. This could come with a few rumbles of thunder and some lightning, but nothing more than that. That'll clear out overnight tonight into the early morning hours. We may see some lingering showers in the wake of that cold front that's pushing those showers through, but by the weekend we'll be clear and warm. Some gusty winds today as well, up to about 25 miles per hour in Fayetteville. We can even see gusts as high as 30 miles per hour later into the evening hours when the bulk of those storms are moving through. So we'll take a closer look at that in the full forecast in the noon. But for today, I mean, we're sitting about highs of 53, warming up for the weekend, seeing a lot more sun and showers for today. Clear for the rest of the week. Back to you, Joe.
All right, thanks for that, Bella. Well, new developments in the case against a Northwest Arkansas psychiatrist accused of holding patients against their will as part of a Medicaid fraud scheme. It's a story we've followed closely since we first learned of the allegations. Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin filed charges against Dr. Brian Hyatt. He's charged with 2 counts of Medicaid fraud. Now, Hyatt also held an executive position on the state medical board, but resigned amid scrutiny over these allegations. In a release from the Attorney General, he says the crimes happened at Northwest Medical Center in Springdale, where Hyatt made fraudulent Medicaid claims. These charges are a Class A felony, meaning he could face 6 to 30 years in prison and could also face thousands of dollars in fines. Meanwhile, a new reward is being offered in the 29-year-old unsolved murder case of Melissa Wit. 29 years ago this Friday, Melissa Wit was abducted and murdered in the parking lot of a Fort Smith bowling alley. And though her body was found a month later, her killer never was. The nonprofit All the Lost Girls, in partnership with the Who Killed Melissa Wit investigative team, are now offering a $29,000 reward to mark the 29 years since the events. They say they hope it can lead to tips that will identify a man who may have been a witness to the murder. And in Franklin County, Charleston police are investigating a church burglary. The pastor of First Assembly of God says thieves targeted his congregation, thrashing the sanctuary and stealing instruments. But as 5 News reporter Kayla Davis shows us, the incident isn't getting in the way of worship.
As Pastor Darnell Johnson prepares for Wednesday night service at Charleston First Assembly of God, he also searches for answers.
We don't know why it happened.
Missing from the stage at the front of the sanctuary, instruments used for worship, including guitars and the piano.
They were sort of personal to the guys who played them.
Johnson says someone broke into the church late Monday afternoon or evening. A member of the congregation found the stage trashed and discovered the missing instruments Tuesday evening.
They were sentimental to the guys who owned them.
One of the missing guitars is especially sentimental to Johnson. It's one he's held on to for nearly 3 decades.
My dad was a musician most of his life, and before he passed, he gave me his guitar that he had played for many years, and I always kept it here at the church and played it occasionally. That's the one I'd like to have back the most.
The church suspects that thieves used this back door to enter into the church. You can see these marks right here where Pastor Johnson tells me they suspect they used a crowbar to force this lock open and enter into the church. Charleston police are investigating the break-in.
They're working with pawn shops and different things of that nature to see if anything has come in, and they're checking for cameras in this area.
Despite this setback, the mission continues here. Johnson says the congregation will gather for Wednesday night service with praise and worship just as planned.
Everybody's pulling together, pitching in. We've got a lot of friends, a lot of other churches are contacting us saying we've got instruments that we're not using. You guys can welcome to them. It'll turn out all right.
In Charleston, covering news where you live, Kayla Davis, 5 News.
Well, thank you for joining us here today for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Jo Ellison. Catch up with us again tomorrow right here for more.